And we're back at the Roundhouse here on a Friday night as the Bobcats seek to definitely change the script from last time, losing 62 to 22 at Waukee Northwest just about a month ago. And in this game, it was all Reagan Bartholomew for Waukee Northwest. The forward had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 steals, and 6 assists, just the do-everything guard. And tonight's starting lineup, starting with Waukee Northwest, it's going to be number 4, Nair Barnes. And number 14, Josie Vanderkraal. Vanderkraal's averaging 5.6 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 2.3 steals. And then we have Reagan Bartholomew averaging 18 points a game, 6 rebounds, and almost 4 assists and 2 steals. Abigail Jones, the 6'2 senior, averaging 8.2 points per game, 4 rebounds, almost 2 assists and over 2 steals. And then the girl in the middle is Sadie Moss, the 6'1 sophomore, averaging 8.5 points, along with 4.5 rebounds per game. And then for your Bobcat women, starting number 20, Lainey Danielson. Actually, that's going to be Rachel Smith at number 20. Number 14 tonight is going to be Sarah Huffman. And number 12 is going to be Lily Roberts. Lily Roberts, a starting senior, is averaging 8 points a game. Sophie Yunkin at number 32 has had 8 points last time out. She's averaging 5.5 points and a team high, almost 7 rebounds. And then Kaylin Smith, last time out against Waukee Northwest, had 4 points and 4 rebounds, and she's number 34. Bobcat women are wearing all pink tonight, where Bobcats scrolled across the chest, and then it is pink uniforms, hence a little bit of the Rachel Smith and Sarah Huffman jersey number change. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Lewis, and I will bring you Bobcat basketball. You're listening to Bobcat basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. Back here at the Roundhouse as we get ready for the tip. It looks like senior number 34, Kaylin Smith, will jump against number 24, Reagan Bartholomew. Bartholomew is that lengthy, almost 6 foot. This is what you get with that Waukee Northwest. They are a tall and lanky front court, 2 6-footers and basically a third 6-footer in Bartholomew. Waukee Northwest gets it to bring it going right to left on your radio dial. Pick up the dribble at the three-point line. Now it's over to Bartholomew. Bartholomew kicks over to Abigail Jones. Jones kicks it out. Back to Nair Barnes. Nair Barnes picks up the dribble, guarded by Rachel Smith. Bartholomew kicks it in the corner, back cut. Nair Barnes, no good, but she gets her own rebound, then ripped away by Sophie Yunkin, and it's going to be a jump ball. Jump ball is going to go to the Bobcats. Nice hustle by Yunkin. Barnes quite quick, but she's a smaller guard, and Yunkin said, that's a cookie, I'm going to take it, and just ripped it out of her arms. And the Bobcats come no press so far. Coach Murphy talked about the press early, and then Rachel Smith, great spin dribble, free throw line jumper is pure. Nice job by the senior. We talked about her being more aggressive on the offensive end, and then just a pullback three, no good by Bartholomew, and it's cleared by Yunkin. And here come the Bobcats. Rachel Smith going straight at Vanderkraal, kicks it to the corner for Roberts, thought about the three, no, gets it tapped away by Vanderkraal. Barnes picks it up, and now here come the Wolves coming the other way. Quick pass, Bartholomew spot up three, leaves it hanging for three. She's just a stud. That's all there is. Looking to shoot, looking to score at every effort. And Bobcats, again, that trapping zone has not been there. Vanderkraal, that's got to be a foul. She just reached right in and knocked it away, but she got a lot of body first, no call. Roberts now pulls it back out and just got herself in no man's land, and here come the Wolves. Kick out to Vanderkraal, wide open three in transition. Too far, no good, and that's going to be off Bartholomew's hand. It's going to go Bobcats. Brian Murphy going straight fashion statement here tonight. The white Nikes, jeans, sports jacket, and the pink breast cancer awareness T-shirts. And Huffman now brings it across. She's guarded closely by Nair, and it gets into a wide open corner three for Roberts, and she rings it up. It's 5-3, just 2 minutes into this ball game. Great start by your Bobcats. And then Bartholomew comes the other way, can't make it. Layup is good, the left-handed layup by Sadie Moss, and makes it 5-5. Nice defense by the Bobcats, but the length of Waukee Northwest is going to be an issue all night long if they allow second chances. Huffman goes into the lane, no good, too strong, and here comes Bartholomew and the Wolves. She takes Rachel Smith, blows by her, kicks it out to Vanderkraal, and they're going to call a charge. A charge on Bartholomew. She left her feet to pass, and Yunkin was right there. Yunkin was right there to take the charge. And again, here we are at the Roundhouse here tonight as the 1-20 Bobcats take on the 12-7 Waukee Northwest Wolves. I'm Dylan Doze, along with the man, the myth, the legend, the all-star award-winning broadcaster, Brandon Lewis. Brandon, welcome in. What are you seeing so far tonight?
Well, get your popcorn ready because the Cats came ready to play.
Yeah, it's great hustle. This is the most energy, especially Tuesday night. I thought they looked incredibly flat coming out against Valley, and Valley just stepped on the gas from the get-go, and that's not the case here tonight. Sarah Huffman gets it in the corner, looking to get Yunkin in the post. Yunkin turns to score, and Moss blocks it, kicks it out to Bartholomew. The 1-on-2. She crosses over. Roberts kicks it to top of the key. Vanderkraal wide open three, wow. And it's right there. Wow. We did not do a good job of rotating out to shoot her.
No, that is for sure, because Vanderkraal, she just keeps moving. Past couple of drives, they've really got some nice kickouts to her, but she just keeps moving and finding the open spot, and right there just paid off for their offense.
And Rachel Smith crossing over and hands it off to Huffman. Top of key. Huffman measures up. Vanderkraal looks for the pick from Yunkin, passes it to the corner to Rachel Smith. Smith gets into the lane looking for, you'd like to see Lily back cut there, but she still gets the ball. Now she takes it on to Bartholomew. Little fall away jumper, nothing but nylon. My goodness. Bobcats are in the fight here early. Roberts has 5. It's 8-7 Waukee Northwest, and then just an easy layup on the backside by Bartholomew. It's 10-7. You cannot have that happen.
Yeah, too easy of a drive. She puts on a hesitation move. Her ball skills are really, really developed, and really a nice player in Bartholomew, and the 5'10 senior, kind of a do-it-all.
Rachel Smith had a great look at a three, and it rimmed in and out. I will tell you, she didn't make it, but I love aggressiveness from her. And then, oh my goodness. Abigail Jones says, I'll join the three party. It's 13-7 with 3:17 to go. The timeout on the court. We'll take one with them. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back here at the Marshalltown Roundhouse here on George Funk Court. It's Bobcats basketball. They're trailing 13-7 in a really fast-paced first quarter as Huffman,
yeah, that was going to be a travel.
I thought it was going to be a travel, but no. Ball's knocked away, but Wurtzberger tracks it down in the corner, and she stepped on the line. This is the first time, I think, for the Bobcats we've had a full lineup in months, if not the whole season. So on the court for your Bobcats, Sarah Huffman, Lily Roberts, Paige Wurtzberger, Maya Moore, and Zaila Newman. This comes over Waukee Northwest. Abigail Jones gives it over to newly substituted Addison Steffi. Down in the post, no good. And it's pulled back out. Bartholomew, they got her with a travel. She was doing a little bit of that hezzy dribble and just moved her feet. And it'll be Bobcat basketball, seeing to cut into the 6-point Wolves lead. As, again, we have not seen Waukee Northwest extend that press at all. Huffman picks up her dribble, and that's what, great back cut by Newman, but she couldn't handle the pass. And here comes Abigail Jones and Waukee Northwest. Baseball pass over to the near side to Bartholomew. Straight in the post to Moss. Moss hook shot no good. Gets her own rebound, and that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Sarah Huffman there in the post, and they're going to call that on Sarah. That'll be her first.
You know, Reagan Bartholomew, very good, developed. As you mentioned, she's got really good handles on the basketball. It's surprising that she's not going to go play basketball at the next level. She definitely seems like she has the talent to do so. She's going to go play softball at Miami of Ohio.
Wow. Yeah, she's just one of those girls you see she's 5'10" and has guard handles. As the second free throw by Sadie Moss is good. That you can see that athleticism would definitely translate over. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a bump foul, and that is going to be a foul on Megan Lands, and that's Megan Lands' first foul of the night. Megan Lands in the first matchup had a great game, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists against the Bobcats. Roberts inbounds, and they're going to call a charge, and I think they're going to call that on Wurtzberger. What he lacks in hair, he makes up in calls there in the referee down there.
Hey, take it easy on the ball guy, okay?
That is going to be Wurtzberger's first foul. Little post move. And nothing there. They're going to end up calling 3 seconds in the lane.
Yeah, both those ladies, Bartholomew, who are actually not Bartholomew, but Bailey Kroll, she was hanging out there for a little bit and then passed it and then still hung out in the lane. So I think she kind of lost track of where she was at.
And here come the Bobcats. Lily Roberts grabs it. Oh, my goodness. She was ready to shoot off that pick, and it just rimmed out. Really like that they're looking to score.
Yeah, and we've talked so much about what it would be like to set her up for shots like that all the time. And that was just a great wide-open look for her, and Bobcats will get the basketball back here.
Yeah, Rachel Smith picked Bartholomew's pocket, and Bartholomew went to get it back and fouled. That'll be Bartholomew's second foul here in the first quarter. This is a much better start again, but the Bobcats need to get points. Down 7, 14-7, a minute 30 left here in the first quarter. Smith gets it down on the block, little turnaround jump shot, no good. And Newman knocks it away, and now that's going to be, oh my goodness, I thought Thought it was going to be Bobcats ball, but no, they're going to say it's off Zaila Newman.
Very aggressive, though. I like that. I mean, I know they turned it over offensively, technically, and didn't get it back there. But, you know, just I thought it was aggressive, going after the ball, sticking with
that's
it.
a hook. And that's going to be Steffi's first. Addison Steffi is going to have her first foul. The junior, the 6-foot junior. My goodness. Waukee just...
A lot of length.
A lot of length.
Yeah.
It's like direct Danish imports or something. The Swedish imports. It's the 6-foot lanky.
Oh, you're wearing your hat you bought when we went on our summer trip together.
Yes, for my 40th
I just
birthday.
realized that.
I'm wearing my Iowa Oaks hat.
Yeah.
Wurtzberger in the post, picks up her dribble, kicks it back out to Smith. Smith bounce pass back to Wurtzberger. It's blocked, but that was a great little pocket pass by Smith. She's really done a good job with that, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Bobcats. Huffman's going to throw it in, with it being Huffman, Newman, Moore, Rachel Smith, and Paige Wurtzberger for your Bobcats. Little bounce pass inside to Huffman. Huffman gets it in the post. Left-handed shot off the glass, no good. And it's going to be a foul on Newman.
I know the listeners and viewers are probably curious where we went on our summer excursion together. I mean, we are not just acquaintances.
No, we are actual friends. First, we grabbed a picnic basket. We got some prime seats of the must-go box seats.
Yeah, I guess that was technically not summer anymore. It was a late
fall.
Yeah, it was technically fall.
Yes, but we had
late
a nice
September. Do you remember?
I do. I think it was 6-string at the 5 and dime, I believe. We had great seats. We sat in the box seat.
Cubs got blown out, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they did. It was not good. And there's a 3. Abigail Jones with her second of the game, just pure. And they're shooting it a lot better. They made 9 threes last time out against the Bobcats, but they shot only about 25% from 3. Tonight, much more aggressive. 5 seconds ago, 17-7. Smith gets a spin, dribble, free throw line, jumper, front iron, no good. And that will do it. Bobcats start out fast, but a 9-0 run to end the first quarter leaves it 17-7. Waukee Northwest Wolves ahead. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB, AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back at the Roundhouse. Second quarter starts, and it looks like it's going to start with a quick foul as Sadie Moss got into the post, and it's going to be a quick foul on Sophie Yunkin. That'll be Yunkin's first foul. Nair Barnes is back into the game, and it's a wide open 3 by Vanderkraal. No good. A rebound's going to be Kaylin Smith. She'll clear, and here comes Rachel Smith and the Bobcats. She sprints up to the front court, now pulls it back out. And it's going to be Huffman, Kaylin Smith, Rachel Smith, Lily Roberts, and Sophie Yunkin. We're back to the starting 5 for the Bobcats. And over on the other side, it's Abigail Jones, Nair Barnes. It's again going to be Bartholomew who picks off Roberts. And Roberts hustling back, and Bartholomew left-hand layup good. And that's her 7th point.
Yeah, Bartholomew just on the attack there, gets the turnover, and then does a nice job. That's something to learn right there if you're a young player aspiring to be a varsity starter. Position yourself between the ball and the defender, and good things will happen when you're going on a fast break play like that.
Reverse layup by Huffman. No good, and here comes the Waukee Northwest Wolves. Kicks over to Nair Barnes. Left-hander looks for a three. Instead gives it to Bartholomew for a three, and it rims out. And here come the Bobcats. One of the things is it looks like there's a floating, roving defender going to double-team the ball. One of the things, if you're the Bobcats, whoever that person's coming off of, you want a back cut, and that should be wide open layups. Roberts for three is going to be short and no good, and it's going to be cleared by Moss. Hands off to Abigail Jones, then a baseball pass up to Vanderkraal. Josie Vanderkraal kicks it over to the corner. Bartholomew gets in the post to Sadie Moss and just destroys Kaylin Smith in the post for two. Moss is all arms and legs, but the 6'2" Moss is having her way so far. She looks like a volleyball star out there. She's got the two knee sleeves, the headband, the armband. She's ready to spike one, I think. Huffman, again, not going with a, they're going to call a jump ball, and it's going to stay with the Bobcats. But one of the things that we're having, yes, aggressiveness is happening, but there doesn't always seem to be aggressiveness with intent as there had been earlier. And with 5:46 left to go, Bobcats find themselves trailing 7-21, and there's a timeout on the court. We'll take one with them. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM. And we're back here at the Marshalltown Roundhouse on George Funk Court. Here, the final home game of the year for the Marshalltown Bobcat women. It find themselves at down 21-7. The girls will be playing in districts next Saturday night against Ankeny Centennial. And they're calling a carry. I'm not quite sure where he saw that, but he must have saw it, and that's the call, and here comes the Waukee Northwest. Again, next Saturday night against Ankeny Centennial. Bobcats have seen enough of the Jaguars here over the last couple weeks. But they get to face them again down at Ankeny Centennial at 7 p.m. I'll be on the call, and the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Lewis, will be back in the studio making things happen. And coming out of the timeout, who else with the three? But Bartholomew is able to knock it down, making it 24-7. Bobcats rush down, and another turnovers. What started off really hot with an 8-7 game now is a 16-point run for the incredibly efficient Waukee Northwest Wolves. I will say, saying Waukee Northwest Wolves is a lot of fun.
It sounds pretty legit.
It does.
And I love their logo with the little Northwest pointer up by the wolf head.
Oh, man. Sadie Moss just ripped it away from Kaylin Smith. Kaylin Smith is having a lot of struggles here tonight with the longer, taller Sadie Moss.
Moss, yeah, number 34. Get your 34 jerseys out. Moss.
Yeah. I just wonder if she...
Close to 84, Randy Moss.
I get.
Did you get it? Okay.
I did.
All right.
I did. I wonder if she just yells at him, "You just got mossed." Right? I know if
Probably.
I would. Last night we do a thing at our 6th grade basketball to kind of teach how to rotate on defense and to find the open person as Lily Roberts makes another jumper. And so for 25 minutes, we always play 5-on-3. And it was closer than it should have been last night. And we're coming down, so I hit a 3 on my son, and he came back, and he hit a 3. And then I came back and hit a 3, and then I just started talking smack to a 6th grader. So, of course, I would yell at somebody, "You got lost."
Does that make you feel better about yourself, or, like, what's going on there?
Oh, I want them to know that I may be old, and slow, but I'm still not afraid
to
yell
trash
at 6th graders. As the Waukee Northwest turns it over, it's 26-9 here with 4 minutes left in the first half. Rachel Smith, little left-hand dribble, spins into the lane, picks up her dribble, little rotation, gets it to the cutting Zayla Newman, who stopped cutting. And that can happen sometimes when you're unsure offensively. Instead of just cutting all the way through and expecting to grab the ball on the run, when you see somebody's going to pass to you, you stop. And that can happen with sometimes a lack of maturity on the court, lack of comfortability, and that's what we saw right there tonight as Youngkin picks up her second foul. Here come the Wolves. Moss, top of the key, left-handed dribble, kicks over to Lands. Lands gets it in the quarter to Vanderkraal. Vanderkraal to Bartholomew in the far three-point line, drops it into Moss. Moss, little handoff to a cut behind to Bartholomew, no good. And the rebound's going to be cleared by Youngkin, and they're going to call a jump ball. That seemed like a quick call as Bartholomew, I think, got popped in the face. And Caitlin Smith's going to be is going to sub out for sophomore Amaya Moore. And for the Bobcats, that'll give you Sophie Youngkin, Lily Roberts, Amaya Moore, Zayla Newman, and Rachel Smith. And so far, Lily Roberts leading all Bobcat scorers at 7 points. And actually, that ball is going to stay with the Wolves. And Reagan Bartholomew's leading all scorers with 10 points. She's had a pair of threes here tonight. She does have 2 fouls, and a back cut by Bartholomew. Rachel Smith's got to know better. You can't you can't not know where Bartholomew is on the court. That's a dozen for her. And a dribble right side down, Youngkin. Jump shot blocked by Moss, no good. Now it's ripped away by Josie Vanderkraal. Hands off to Abigail Jones for 3, no good, too strong. Rebound is going to kick all the way back to Jones. Jones hands off to Vanderkraal. Vanderkraal to Bartholomew. Near side 3, rims in and out, no good. And Youngkin rips it away.
Yeah, I thought good aggressiveness right there. Finally get that ball back because Zayla Newman had a chance at it up top. You just got to go after that thing and grab it, especially when you're down 28-9. You know, this first half, I thought they got off to such a great start, but let those little things impact them. And a team like Waukee Northwest, which is 11th ranked in Class 5A in girls, going to take advantage of it every time, just like they did right here.
Yeah, and here's a straight line drive by Vanderkraal. The basket's not going to be good, and it's a foul. And one of the things, Rachel Smith will be charged with a turnover on that, but Amaya Moore, the sophomore, did not come to the ball. You want to take some movement to the ball to be able to help out the passer there to eliminate the distance. And here comes Abigail, corner 3. Jones with her third 3 of the night. She just a shooter.
Yeah, and you leave them a little bit of room, they're going to knock it down every time. This is a team that shoots it pretty well overall. I was pretty impressed. 42% from the floor, 31% from three-point land, and 57% from the three-point line. It's just a team that plays pretty good defense. Last time out, they forced a ton of steals and things of that nature and turnovers. You know, in that game, the Bobcats, they were out-rebounded 26-20. But committed 23 turnovers and only got to the free throw line 6 times and only made 1. So just one of those things you got to execute against a team like this.
Yes, you do. You cannot have empty possessions. And here's the interesting, Abigail Jones, she's 6'2", and she's like the stretch 4. Old school Hawkeye fans, that's a Brad Lowhouse. Old school Iowa State fans, that's a Hulo Mikalik type player, the 6'10" that likes to play outside. Going to stay with the Bobcats, and we want to make sure that we recognize our great sponsors, Sports Plus and Sports Medicine, along with Jensen Ford. Again, as I always say, we bought our favorite vehicle ever from Jensen Ford, our Ford Flex. Assured Partners, formerly Independent Insurance Services. We also have Wells Fargo Advisors, along with Zach Wall at Edward Jones, and Lennox Employee Credit Union. And Paige Wurtzberger gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up, no good, but she will have 2 shots. And as we look at this first half, Who do you think the front runner is for the Calvin Rocket player of the game here today, Brandon?
Well, obviously, Lily leads in scoring right now with 7 points. I thought she's played pretty well here in this first half. She's been fairly aggressive. Paige Wurtzberger at the line. She made her first free throw, which is good. 31-10 now. The Cats down with 1:29 to go before halftime. But the thing I want to see is Paige Wurtzberger try to get some more opportunities inside. She had 0 points and 8 rebounds last time out against Waukee Northwest. And I think the thing about her is she's just a grinder down low. She works hard, gets those tough plays that you need, the rebounds and stuff, but I really would like to see it come on the offensive side of things for the Cats.
Yeah, very much so, because she has the Wolves are much longer in the post, but Paige has strength. Along with Caitlin, they have lower body strength that should help them push out, so they need to focus more on boxing out and driving them out of the lane than just reaching for rebounds.
And boy, Mosso with a nice post-up play in there. She wasn't able to convert on that. The Bobcats get the rebound. Good rebound here.
Yeah, and then a three by Rachel Smith, and it's the bottom of the court, and she's just got to be more aggressive on that offensive end.
Yeah.
She's got 5.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity. Waukee Northwest sails one out of bounds here just before halftime. So kind of a 2-for-1 scenario right here for the Cats. Maybe get a couple buckets just before the break.
Yes, try to cut into this 31-13 lead as Rachel Smith brings it across the logo. Left-hand dribble. Guarded closely by Vanderkraal. Now she picks it up, gets it to Wurtzberger at the free throw line. Back cut by Huffman. Huffman goes to a reverse, and Abigail Jones says, I'm taking that.
Yeah. Got to get back on defense right there. You know what I mean? You can't stand around and say, oh, man, I got my shot blocked. Well,
And then Jones just steps into a my goodness.
That's what's going to happen every time you do that.
That's her 4th 3 of the first half. She is a killer from outside. 5 seconds to go. 34-13. Huffman takes it to the lane, goes reverse layup, no good, and that'll do it. It's 34-13, and that's the halftime score. Your Marshalltown Bobcats in their final home game of the year trail by 21. When we come back, we'll give you the first half stats and start to look forward to the second half. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk, 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back here at the Marshalltown Roundhouse here on George Funk Court as they get ready for the halftime entertainment. There's dance troupe out there, and it looks like they're getting ready to play a game as well. But as we look at the first half stats, Bobcats started out hot. They led early 5-3, but later on, after an 8-7 ball game, Waukee Northwest just blew it open with a 16-0 run, and we sit at 34-13. The Wolves over the Bobcats. And for the Waukee Northwest Wolves, Josie Vanderkraal had 3 points on 1 3-pointer. Reagan Bartholomew, Bobcats did a decent job with her, but she ended up the first half tied for the game high with 12 points. Abigail Jones, the 6'2 sharpshooter, had 4 threes, and she ends the first half with 12 points. And then Sadie Moss had 7 points, but she gave the Bobcats a ton of trouble. The 6'1" post player, just all arms and legs with great reach and length, gave the Bobcats all they could handle.
To have a 6-man come off here bench and play like that. It's just not too many teams. I mean, even at the 5A level in girls, you're going to have that kind of production. And not only production, but physicality. I mean, late in the half, she missed a bucket, but she put on a nice aggressive post play. And this is a team that has a lot of players that are lanky. They don't have a lot of, muscle. And, not to say they don't have muscle, but just what I'm saying is, not huge imposing. I'm more of a, kind of volleyball type of style athlete, tall and lanky, where, that's not going to be the best maybe when you're banging bodies down in the paint and trying to go in the post. But anyway, I thought she was very impressive in trying to do some of that stuff. And this Waukee team, I know they're 11th ranked in 5A, and they've got 7 losses on the season, but I don't think any of them bad losses. And I think they're going to probably make a little bit of noise once postseason play gets here.
Yeah, and it's one of those 12-7, but they are 9-2 in the CIML. And if you just even look at their last couple losses, they lost by 17 2 games ago to Johnston, and there's no shame in losing to Johnson. Johnson's incredible. They have an Iowa-bound player there. And then last time out, I saw Fort Dodge, and they beat Fort Dodge by 22. That's a good Fort Dodge team. So you look at that, this is a pretty good team. And then when we look at the scoring output for your Marshalltown Bobcats, Rachel Smith had 5 points. Lily Roberts led the Bobcats in scoring with 7. And then Wurtzberger, to round out the scoring, had 1. And that makes 13. As we look at this for the second half, Brandon, what are you hoping to see from the Bobcats? What did they do well early, and what would you like them to get back to?
Well, I'd really like to see them just be a little more aggressive. Got to do the small things well. Can't turn the ball over once you get it over to the midcourt. That's a surprising thing. I mean, Waukee has put some physicality and some pressure on them on the offensive side of things. Defensively for Waukee Northwest, I thought they played well. They forced some steals and things of that nature. They haven't pressed to try to force turnovers that way. And so when they get into the front court, I think they just have to be calculated, set some screens and get some good opportunities. We saw Lily Roberts get some really good opportunities on a wide open 3 shots. She knocked down one of them in that first half, but you have to do that more. You have to do that consistently if you want to take down or even come back in a game like this against Waukee Northwest. So that's a big thing offensively. And then defensively, just got to do a better job of rebounding. I mean, there was some second chance opportunities when the ball was rolling around. Cats had it in their hands, didn't end up with it. Then Waukee Northwest hits a shot. You can't do those things in a game like this. Yeah,
and especially against the length of someone like Waukee Northwest. One of the big things that you find in basketball is if you don't pay attention and a shot goes up, what you think your first move is to rebound is to go after the ball. Yeah. And that's exactly, especially against a long team, the last thing you want to do. The first thing you want to do is put a rump in the gut and to make that length shrink. And that's the Bobcats are going to have to do a much better job of that in the second half. But as we talked about that length on both ends, a lot of shots blocked by the Bobcats on aggressive nature. You can't go right at those arms are going to get you if you don't pump fake and go around. Well, the Bobcats are going to need the 22-point play or at least 11 two-pointers to get back into this, but the Bobcats and their last home game look to go out strong. When we come back, we'll get ready for that second half as the Bobcats trail 34-13. You're listening to the Bobcats halftime report here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And welcome back. 2.5 minutes before tip-off as we get ready for this second half. As we were talking a little bit, preview a little bit tonight's game against Waukee Northwest men. Price Sanford leading the top-level classes in Iowa in scoring. What are you looking forward to tonight in that nightcap of this doubleheader?
Well, I tell you what, Cats are going to have to come out strong. They did not do that when they were on the road at Waukee Northwest, and it burnt them. They were down, I believe, by like 18 points in the third quarter. They stormed back. They got it within 3 or 4 points in the fourth quarter. Final score looked a little bit further than that game really was going down the line, just because they hit a ton of free throws. Hey, I challenge you to go back in the history books of every basketball game in history at the high school level in the state of Iowa and find where a team shot 31 free throws in a game and lost the game.
Yeah.
You're never going to lose if you get 31 free throw attempts in a game.
Right.
And so they just, there's nothing Bobcats to do.
Bobcats looked really good. It was that whole thing, and I remember Coach Brynjolfsson said it, inconsistent practices lead to inconsistent games, and that's exactly what that game was for the Bobcats, scoring over 30 points in that fourth quarter. Armani Thomas had a huge game, but Price Sanford scored north of 40, and you can tell why there's a ton of hype, though the Bobcats can't just let him step into three-pointers here tonight.
You're never going to shut that guy down at the high school level. I mean, he had 42 points. He averages nearly 30 points a night. Nobody's really shut him down all season long. Should be a good game. They really don't have a whole lot of really high-level talent outside of Kate Elderman, their guard, who's second in Class 4A with assist. And then you team that and pair that up with Sanford, leading scorer in the state of Iowa. It'll be an interesting game. I'd be interested to see how they play defensively in that game, because lately the Bobcats basketball team has really, the boys have really struggled in help defense and switching and your help defense. And if they can't get that figured out tonight, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, Bobcats have not played since last Tuesday with you and I think both attest. That was
February 1st.
Yeah, it was the worst effort and the worst result that I think I've seen in the 2 years of covering the Bobcats. So hoping for something a lot better. As we start the second half, it's going to be the Wolves ball going left to right. Bartholomew gets it over to Barnes, who gets it to Jones. Lily Roberts is right in on her, 25 feet from the basket. Bartholomew step back three, back iron no good. Rebound's going to be Huffman, and that's going to be a foul on Sadie Moss, who went over the back of Huffman. Huffman used every square inch of that 5'2" frame to ward off the 6-footer.
Yeah, she hustled back. I think she knew that she fouled. She was already back down here when they were all still figuring it back out.
No, I got it. That's on me. Rachel Smith crossover dribble, far side, free throw line extended to Huffman. Huffman measuring up Barnes, takes her to the rim, and then dribbles it out of bounds. And I look for Huffman to really grow in that area where she'll take dribbles, but not really have the intention of what she's going to do. She knows she can get around, but she doesn't know what she's going to do with it when she gets there. And Bartholomew just runs over Huffman, and they're going to call the foul on Huffman, I guess. Chest bruise and a foul for your troubles there for the sophomore Sarah Huffman. Bartholomew passing it in underneath the basket, kicks it all the way out by the Bobcats to Jones. Jones to Vanderkraal. And down in the post to Moss, and they're going to call a foul on Kaylin Smith. Just a really nice little set that the Wolves run. As Bartholomew threw it in, she then came around 2 picks, got the ball, and an easy dump down to Moss. They've ran that throughout the night, and it's made it wide open.
Yeah, and unfortunately just trailing Kaylin Smith in that scenario, and, put it on that move on the left block and just couldn't get it all together in the fouls, what resulted in it.
Sadie Moss, first free throw no good, second free throw no good, and nobody somehow put a rump on Bartholomew. Reagan Bartholomew with her 14th point of the night. Roberts gets it poked away by Vanderkraal, but she tracks it down. She's out about 25 feet. far side, looking at the cutting Smith, gets it in there, who's guarded closely by Bartholomew, so she pulls it out to the far corner. Smith reverse dribble to Youngkin. Youngkin over to Huffman. Huffman, again, measures up, gets the pick from Roberts. Roberts slips it, and now there's going to be a blocking foul as Roberts took it right to Vanderkraal. Josie Vanderkraal smiling, not thinking she did anything, but the call is a foul nonetheless, and that'll be her first. Score is 36-13. Roberts grabs it and throws it to Bartholomew. Wrong jersey, and Bartholomew takes it 1-on-3 and splits three. She looked like an Olympic downhill slalom skier. Hit all three nets getting to the rack.
Yeah, good comp right there. But, yeah, just a great job to have that awareness driving down the court. That's just a senior play right there.
And for those of you that were betting on when I'd give you the first Winter Olympics, those that had the third quarter on their bingo squares are winners. 38-13, 5:55 to go here in the third quarter. Bartholomew puts it back in on Moss. Moss kind of just chucked it up there, got an elbow on Kaylin, was able to erect her set above her, and she pops in her 9th point of the night.
Yeah, she did. She put a little left elbow into Kaylin Smith, but she can't make a free throw real well, but boy, she's got some really nice post-up moves down low in the paint.
Yeah, her free throws are almost as if she's shooting on one of those carnival nets that are 16 feet in the air. It's real high. Youngkin in the post, nice pass from Kaylin Smith, no good, and it's going to be a jump ball. And that's going to stay here with the Bobcats. I'd like to see we saw Sophie against Valley go into the post with that little bit of a left-handed hook shot. I'd like to see her do that a little bit more on the post. It's a pretty lethal shot for her. Rachel Smith picked up her dribble and had a lot of trouble, and then Lily Roberts overran the ball and tried to chase it down by dribbling the ball, and you can't do that. You just got to grab the basketball. Coach Brian Murphy and the Bobcats will take a timeout, down 40-13, 5:13 left to go in the third. You're listening to Bobcat Basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back. Bobcats find themselves down 40-13, and it feels like forever ago when this was an 8-7 game in the first quarter. Bobcats led by the scoring of Lily Roberts. She has 7. Rachel Smith has 5, and then Paige Wurtzberger has 1. And then the Wolves are led by Abigail Jones with 4 threes. She's got 12, and then Reagan Bartholomew has 16, and there's Abigail Jones, a little pump fake at the 3 and goes to the Trey Young floater from the corner, and she's got 14 points, and it's 42-13. Roberts looking at Youngkin in the post. Now waiting for the cutting Smith. Now she takes it herself. Reverse out to Smith for 3. Front iron no good. Rebound's going to be Sarah Huffman's for a second, but then Moss rips it away, and here come the Wolves. Vanderkraal hands it off to Bartholomew, right back to her, wide open 3. That's high-level basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it's an 11-0 run out of the gate. This is the thing that the Cats have fallen into at times this year. We saw it in Mason City where they didn't score a bucket until 40 seconds before halftime. They got almost shut out in the first half. Here coming out of the gate, 11-0 run for Waukee Northwest in the second half. These are just things you got to find a way. Somebody's got to find a way to get a bucket.
Yeah, and it comes into, I think, going straight as Huffman just puts Naira Barnes, seemingly the only Waukee Wolf under 6'5" out there, as she bodies her up and is able to get the foul on the post. And Huffman will have 2 shots here. And after the first shot, the Bobcats will be bringing in Amaya Moore and Zaila Newman. And the Wolves will be bringing Addison Steffi and Megan Lands. First shot is off the iron and no good for Huffman. Huffman still looking for her first point here tonight. And Zyla Newman and Amaya Moore will come in for Kaylin Smith and Rachel Smith. Second free throw, Huffman steps in. Wearing number 14 tonight, usually number 3, but with the pink jerseys, and that's halfway in and then pops back out, and the rebound's going to be Vanderkroll. Vanderkroll, how in the world does Bartholomew find herself wide open? But she missed it, thank goodness, and Youngkin gets a rebound and clears, and here come the Bobcats. We've not done a good job of recognizing backside shooters and leaving them wide open. And one of the things I also feel like the effort when you recognize you did leave someone open,
you got to get out there.
You got to move. Bobcats turn it over, but then it's turned right back over as Vanderkroll stepped out of line. Yeah, it really is. When you recognize she's open, you still want to put some pressure on the shooter. Don't just say, oh, man, I messed up, and just stay there. But actually, and here there's another turnover off the inbounds, and Huffman's going to double down with the foul. It's at points when it goes like this, as you said, this has happened before. It feels a little bit like back when the CD would start to scratch and it would start to skip and it'd just go over and over and would never go on to the next song. It feels a little bit that way sometimes tonight.
It's true. Got to get the cleaner out.
That's right. Got to go up to Sam Goody. And Abigail Jones says, I'll take the 5th three as it hits front iron and bounces straight up and back in.
Sam Goody.
I give you all the references from the 1997 era. We're going to have a couple of Surge sodas and get all forms. Go listen to some ska, and Huffman tries to bounce it off her legs, and it just bounces straight up. And Steffi got bumped, no call. Youngkin gets a rebound, and here come the Bobcats down 48-13, 2:46 to go.
And see, when things started skipping, then I put, you could have that. There was that little switch on your CD or your CD player, yeah, where it was like the regular, and then there was like a non-skip. It was like the double extra non-skip, and then the 3 by Jones.
That's a half a dozen threes. Along with that runner, she's got 20.
What was that called though? There was like just a normal mode, and it was like it helped to like when you were traveling or whatever. It was
yes, it was shockproof or something to that effect. Yes. Yeah. And Huffman goes into the lane, and she's pushed down, and it's 51-13. Bobcats cannot find a bucket whatsoever. Just kind of finding themselves with time left on the clock, but not a lot of answers so far. I'm just amazed that Abigail Jones has 8 points in this quarter, and the Bobcats turn it over again. It feels like there's a lot of chaos and being frantic, and Abigail Jones just had her 7th three.
Jeez.
She's
usually when you go to certain places, like especially college, like people get like free pizza once you hit like how many ever threes. Like we're there.
Yeah.
We need some free popcorn in the booth. Bring it up.
Usually they don't do things when the opposing team does it, though. Amaya Moore gets it into the lane, and she gets her first foul of the night.
I'm equal opportunity.
That's right. I am equal. I want free popcorn. And we got another game to go.
We do have a running clock here with the disparity in the scoreboard there, 54-13.
Yeah, as we look here, is Abigail Jones has 11 here in the third. She has 23 overall. And it looks like she gets off. The one thing, Lily Roberts now knocks it off. That's a terrible call. They're going to say it's the Wolves' ball. Roberts knocked it off her hip. Still 54-13. And, that's a charge. Oh, they're calling that a block? Oh, my goodness. She jumped
she was
into her.
Contact there for sure.
She did not go straight to the rack. She jumped into.
She went left and then went straight forward. She took an immediate hard left.
Apparently, and then Jones for, oh my gosh.
Oh, to quote Dylan Doe's, ring it up.
yeah, ring it up. All four. She literally off of 2 screens, same spot she's in, 3 other in this quarter.
Put on a clinic.
8 threes, 4 in this quarter. It's 57-13, and I'm thinking, and it's knocked away. It's going to be Bobcats ball, and with the running clock, that's probably going to do it here. As no one is, that will do it for the third quarter. It's 57-13. And when we come back, we'll have the final quarter. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back here, and Nair Barnes with 3, front iron no good. Rebound Lily Roberts. Here come the Bobcats. 7:45 left to go in this game. Bobcats find themselves trailing 57-13. Waukee Northwest Wolves are on a 49-6 run. Zayla Newman, little reverse spin dribble, gets into the lane, blocked, and there are wholesale changes here out on the court for Waukee Northwest, and oh my goodness, I think that bucket's going to count as Amaya Moore was chasing number 22, I believe.
32,
and that's going to be Cameron Vogt, and Vogt got a shin to the first row.
Yeah, I think she hit her knee too, but looks like she's going to be okay. I don't know, were you watching that Duke-Clemson game last night?
The undercut?
Oh, man, that wasn't even an undercut. That was a full trying football to break up the pass completion.
Yeah, that was
one of the worst fouls I have seen on a breakaway dunk attempt to undercut the guy and just take him out. And then he stayed in the game, the Duke player. But I think the Clemson guy got suspended today for a game. But
yeah,
it should have been more than a couple games.
Matthew Hurt, Duke star from last year, said it was the dirtiest play he had ever seen. Oh my gosh!
I saw Matthew Hurt and his brother Michael Hurt.
Number 10, Megan Lands gets a bucket.
Where'd they go to school? Rochester Century?
It was in that Minneapolis area, I thought.
No, they were in Rochester.
Rochester, okay.
Yeah, I broadcast both them when I was in Mankato, and got to see them both when they were playing together. They were both phenomenal. Just so tall.
Barnes for 3, no good. Newman's gonna get the rebound. She's gonna be fouled by Bailey Kroll. I don't know if you know this, but in the early 90s, when Cato Kalin was living with O.J. Simpson, he used to always say, "Man, Cato."
But no, Michael went to Minnesota,
yes.
And then Matthew went to Duke.
Yeah, and then he left to try to make the NBA, and I think he's in a G League team somewhere. It's 61-13. Bobcats having a lot of troubles here tonight. And looking at this fourth quarter, this is the last home game. Next game, Districts, is going to be at Ankeny Centennial, and it's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to stay with the Bobcats. It's going to be at Ankeny Centennial at 7 p.m. I'll be on the call. Brandon will be back in the studio as the Bobcats look to have a shocking upset. The Ankeny Centennial games have not gone well this year. And then Lily Roberts lines up a 3 and nails it. She's got 10.
And that's the first bucket of the second half for the Cats. Did not score in the third quarter.
Yeah, first 10 minutes, no good. Barnes says, when you don't succeed, try again, and gets it on her 4th attempt from 3. That's her first 3 of the night, first points of the night. Huffman brings it across the timeline, getting guarded closely by Bailey Kroll. Yunkin, spin dribble in the lane. She's got that weird high release. It almost looks like she's hatchet throwing, but it goes in for her first 2 of the game. Yunkin had 8 the other night against Valley. That's her first 2, only her second shot of the night. Bailey Kroll kicks it over to Lands. Lands left-handed dribble, guarded closely by Newman. Gets it now cut down. Back, gets a little feed, left-handed layup, and that's a great play by Natalie Gallagher. The junior gets her first bucket of the night.
A little give and go by your reserves coming in the game. I mean, you convert on a bucket. I mean, like, how much happier can you be as the Cats throw it away here? But
yeah,
one thing I was going to say, 13 threes tonight for Waukee Northwest. They have been shooting it hot.
Yeah, 13 threes, 39 points from 3 land. Abigail Jones has 8 of them. It has just been a clinic here late. And the Bobcats looking to make this close as Rachel Smith is charged with the foul. It is 4:04 left to go in this game, and that's going to be Smith's first foul of the night. It's 66-18. Bobcats trailing big here in the last home game of the night, and we just want to make sure that we thank our partners, Sports Plus Sports Medicine, along with Jensen Ford, Assured Partners, formerly Independent Insurance Services, Wells Fargo Advisors, and Edward Jones, Zach Wall, and Lennox Employee Credit Union. And we are about 4 minutes away from announcing your Calvin Rocket Player of the Game. Here's the Bobcats again, wrap up the regular season, the roundhouse careers of Sophie Yunkin, Kaylin Smith, Rachel Smith, and Lily Roberts. Pullback jumper, no good, cleared by Waukee Northwest, and here come Gallagher over to Kroll. Kroll gets in the corner, Steffi. Dribble drive, kicks it across, down. Oh my goodness, that was 3-4 quick passes before the ball even thought about hitting the court.
Yeah, excellent ball movement. You know, the size advantage not really to either team right now with some of the reserves in there for the Waukee Northwest Wolves. But the second line that has come in here, very impressive with their ball movement, how they've worked it around to each other, unselfish basketball. Boy, some of these ladies would be good starters on other teams in Class 5A, that is for sure. But when you have as much talent as the Wolves do, they definitely know how to play basketball on that second level, though, too.
Yeah, Chloe Hayes comes in, knocks down a couple free throws, gets herself some points. As the sophomore, 5'11", why not be another 6-footer in Waukee Northwest? You would think we don't have a 6-foot girl on the roster. I think Waukee Northwest has 2 that aren't 6 foot.
Do we even have a 6-foot girl in the house?
I don't.
I mean, that's not from Waukee.
Or if if Dalen wore a wig, we'd have 6'4", but that's not how it goes. And here comes Waukee Northwest. 2:50 to go here in the game, and nice trap in the corner by Melina Kammerer, but they're able to get it down to Hayes. Hayes kicks it back out. Shot is up for 3. Banks, why not? Katie Rush shot the 20-footer 22 feet, and it didn't matter. It goes in. It's 71-18.
14th 3 of the night. That's amazing.
As Rachel Smith gets it, looking top of the key, and now Kaylin Smith about 40 feet out. Hands it off to Roberts. Roberts being guarded by Hayes. You'd like to see Roberts just pulls up for 3, back iron, no good. Rebound, Rachel Smith looking inside to Yunkin. Yunkin gets it. Spins a little left-hand throw up, no good. And here comes Rush. She's another 6-footer. Little set shot short by Waukee Northwest. It's going to be out of bounds, and it's going to be to the Bobcats with 1:50 left to go in this ball game. Paige Wurtzberger, the senior, in her last game at the Roundhouse, again last year was completely lost due to an ACL injury, and the first part of this season was her getting back. Really would really looking at her to great. Hopefully she has a good softball season. I know she missed last year.
Yeah.
A really good softball player. Heart goes out to her. She's a very good teammate, very hard worker, and it just probably didn't end the way she kind of thought her high school career would. And it's going to be Waukee Northwest coming the other way, and dribbles back out to Rush, gets it wide open to Hayes. Hayes for three, number 15 of the night. It's 74-18, and that spot on the court, this little elbow extended, has seen 10 of those threes. Hayes has 5 points, and Wurtzberger down on the block, knocked away again, and they're going to call a foul on Hayes. Running clock being down more than 35 here. It's 74-18. Bobcats are going to inbound it underneath the hoop with Lily Roberts. It's Wurtzberger, Smith, Yunkin, and Melina Kammerer. Kammerer last time out against Valley, the first 4-point play of the Bobcats season. Roberts, a three in the corner, no good. It's going to stay with the Bobcats here, looking at getting as they hustle to get the play inbounds with the running clock. 20 seconds ago, gets it into Smith. Smith jump shot good. She's got 7. Really wish the senior would have had this aggressiveness from the beginning of the season. She's grown leaps and bounds, I think, this year. With 5 seconds to go, and they're going to dribble out the clock, and that's going to do it for the regular season for the Bobcats. They'll fall to 1-21 with the 74-20 losses. Waukee Northwest grows to 13-7 and 10-2 in the CIML. We'll come back, wrap up this game, and we'll start looking forward to the boys matchup with Marshalltown and Waukee Northwest. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM. And we're back here at the Marshalltown Roundhouse as the guys are just getting out there warming up, and it looks like it's going to be a Prince Jala-less evening as they see them in sweatpants over on the bench, but the Bobcats look to avenge a loss to the Waukee Northwest Wolves, which was quite the matchup with 6'7" Peyton Sanford, the 4A leading scorer, and Armani Thomas, the Bobcats' all-time leading scorer, going head-to-head. But to wrap up the game here with Waukee Northwest, it was just a clinic put on. Started with Abigail Jones, who had 8 threes, and she ended up with 26 points on the night. Reagan Bartholomew added 16. Sadie Moss had 9. Josie Vanderkroll had 3. Nair Barnes had 3. Megan Lands added 2, along with Voigt had 2. Gallagher had 2. Chloe Hayes had 5. And Caitlin Rush had 3 for the Bobcats. Lily Roberts led the Bobcats in scoring in double digits with 10, while Rachel Smith ended with 7. Yunkin had 2, and Paige Wurtzberger had 1. And that, all in all, it was a 74-20 loss as the Bobcats fall to 1-21, and Waukee Northwest extends to 13-7.
Not the way you want to end the regular season. A disappointing loss. She started out, I thought, really well in this game, but as the game just lingered on, just the things that have not been strong points really stuck out, and a team like Waukee Northwest in transition is where I noticed them being at the best at. Either it's ball movement, get it down low, inside. Bartholomew is going to drive past you right to the hoop if you're not turned around and getting ready in a defensive position, or they're going to kick it out and they're going to knock down one of their 14 threes that they made here tonight. So, I mean, it's just an impressive team. And I could definitely, if they made it all the way to state this year, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, and they're just one of those long teams that are going to give lots of people a lot of troubles. But I don't want to sell the Wolves short. It was not 14 threes. It was 15 threes.
Oh, was it 15?
They ended up with 15.
Okay. All right.
You know who had 18 threes Thursday night? Your Iowa Hawkeyes.
Okay.
They were up 95-61 with 7 minutes to go.
No one asked.
And then they beat Maryland.
Asked about the
they scored
Hawkeyes.
110. 110 points. That's more points than Iowa State has scored in the month of February.
Time now to name our Bobcat Player of the Game, all brought to you by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill in Marshalltown. Open for dine-in or carry-out. Proud to be part of the Bobcat community. Dylan, who's your Bobcat Player of the Game?
I think we're going to go here with the senior Lily Roberts. It's her last home game. Lily has really been a solid contributor. Oftentimes, many nights offensively, she is the lone go-to, and her shot's gotten better all year long, so that's going to go to the senior Lily Roberts.
Yeah, that is our Bobcat Player of the Game, all brought to you by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill in Marshalltown. Proud to be part of the Bobcat community. Of course, every game they are awarding the Bobcat Player of the Game a free pizza.
All righty. As we come back, we're going to switch some gears. We're going to get ready for this big matchup for the Bobcats against the Waukee Northwest Wolves. Wolves, of course, led by Bryce Sanford, the incredible junior, averaging almost 30 points a game. When we come back, Brandon and I will switch. It'll be a Freaky Friday situation as he'll move on into his sweet spot, the play-by-play, and I will settle into that beautiful color analyst position. You're listening to Bobcats basketball here on News Talk 1230 KFJB AM and 93.9 FM.